don't know.
What?
No, you know. What's the word, y'all? You know what I'm saying? We back with another video. And today, I have no clue what we're talking about. So,
Yes, you do. Remember I told you we going to recap.
Oh, right. I take that back. I'm sorry. Take 3. What's up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? We back with another video. And we got Miss Lady Mac J or Camille Mac J to the Mac J or whatever. And today's topic or whatever, we are talking about.
But who are you? How you gonna introduce me and not yourself?
Oh, they know, right?
Oh, my bad. Star. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But today we are gonna be doing a recap for the new subscribers and for all you newcomers. Cause we already know y'all are not gonna go back and watch those videos. So we got y'all right here in this video.
Well, we want to say welcome and thank you for your subscribing. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications because we will be uploading a lot more.
Dropping bangers back to back for the rest of 2023.
Right, what he said. I feel like he spit all over the camera lens, but it's cool. Okay, so let's get into it. At first, we weren't even going to do a video like this because I felt like it was redundant. However, in the previous videos, when we first started, I never really talked about the things that my ex-husband did because it wasn't relevant. That was the relationship between him and myself. Now, the relationship that we have as a family is the only one that I was concerned about, which is if you are mistreating my children, I'm going to have an issue. Regardless of what happened between him and myself, that still does not give any reason to mistreat the kids. And that's the problem that we're having, okay? I know in most of the videos, I am very upbeat and playful, but that is on purpose. Come a little closer, y'all. Come a little closer. So when you are stressed, your body has stress responses. And depending on how long you've been enduring something, it's going to be difficult for you to get through it. So a way that I would cope is by telling jokes. Just because I'm playful does not mean that I think that it's funny. And for people who know me, understand what I'm saying. But for you guys who are trying to get to know us, and more specifically me right now, this is who I am, okay? Regardless of how anyone feels about what they're saying, about the information that we're giving, it happened. So if you are taking our story and affixing your personal feelings to it,
No. I'll do something.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. So let's get into it. For those of you who are watching, I have 2 sons, Quentin and Isiah. Isaiah's sitting here with me now because Isiah resides with me.
What's up, y'all?
Quentin lives with his father. At any point, they can choose to live with whichever parent. Unfortunately, when they are under the age of, I believe it's 16, when you are in a court, in any court proceedings with children who are minors, you have to affix them with a guardian ad litem, okay? Let's just start with that. Well, actually, I kind of skipped over some things because I actually did take it to court, and that didn't work out either, despite all of the evidence that I had of his wrongdoing, like literally. We'll get it. I'm gonna do a real quick recap. You ready?
Cool.
Let's do it. I had to write it down, y'all, because it's been a while. Myself and their father have been on and off in a relationship for 14 years. Okay?
Awful.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, okay, this is how I go. We met in 2003. We had a conversation. I told him I didn't want to have any children. Within the first 3 months, I was pregnant. That first child was aborted. 3 months later, I was pregnant with my oldest son, Quentin. He was born in 2005. We had another conversation about not having any children. Now, unfortunately, this is where the problem lies, guys. As a woman, you don't have any control over your body. I was told that I had a hard time taking birth control because I was mostly, having bad reactions to it, or I was just allergic. So after I had Quentin, I was trying to find another birth control. Nothing was working because I kept having reactions. So I asked the doctor to tie my tubes. Do you know what they told me? You have to have 2 children and you have to be 25 years old in order for you to tie your tubes. So here I am sitting here saying, I don't want any more children. I cannot take birth control. And here comes this guy in 2007.
Hi guys.
Right. Okay, so we were engaged in 2004. We got married in 2010. Right. We got divorced in 2013. Now, he didn't want to get divorced, but I did because some things happened between him and I where it impacted the family so much that it had to be dissolved. So, divorced in 2013. Now, again, this is where I made the mistake again. We got back together in 2014. Then we officially broke up again in 2017. I did not pursue child support until 2017. I didn't receive any child support until 2019. And then he quit his job or was terminated or whatever. So I had no financial help with anything because I also at the time I'm going through a legal dispute with an employer, and it's been years upon years. And unfortunately, as a single mother, if you need help financially, you already know how that goes. I'm sorry, you may not. For the other single ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. But for those who are unaware, when you are a single Black woman with children, you have a hard time with health care, with child care, with getting a job, with anything you can imagine. You have a hard time every single time, and you have to mother regardless. If you're sick, if you don't feel like it, if you have no money, if you have no energy, you cannot not be a mother. It's not an option. But instead of me talking the entire time, I have brought this young man into it because we have been going through it together.
I got it. For the people, now, you know what I'm saying? Ooh.
You a young old man.
Yeah. So guys, that was a lot. What she just said was a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially for me. You know, I still be like trying to grasp the concept that I actually went through like all of those things. You know what I'm saying? Having to deal with my parents, leaving each other, getting back together multiple times. You know what I'm saying? And also dealing with the things that was going on within the family, which, you know what I'm saying, which is a hurt, you know what I'm saying, a lot deeper, you know, and I couldn't do nothing about it. The hurt is not permanent.
Right. What's the biggest hurt that you experienced?
Fighting my dad.
Why were you guys fighting?
First time.
Okay. How many times have you guys fought?
We fought twice. Physically fought twice.
Okay, the first time, how old were you?
I was 14. Yeah, I was 14.
That was the first fight?
I was 14. We got into our physical fight over aluminum foil, a piece.
Would you like to share that story?
Yes, actually, I would love to. Oh my goodness. So guys, look. Living with my dad is it's completely different from living with my mother. So it's like, I don't know, like 7 or something. Cause you know, over there, he closes the kitchen down. You know what I'm saying? So after a certain time, you can no longer go in the kitchen. Like we can just shut our stomachs down, our bodies, but okay. Somewhere around dinner time, you know, 7 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, there's a pizza. Okay, I'm gonna make a pizza. You know what I'm saying? So I ripped the foil. I use one piece of foil, you know, cover the pizza, put the pizza on it. You know what I'm saying? I throw it in the oven or whatever. I go downstairs, you know, I'm waiting for the pizza to cook. Yes, I did set an alarm or whatever. And, you know, he calls me up from the Alexa because he went downstairs. And I guess a piece of cheese like dripped, like fell
In the oven?
In the oven or something like that, yeah. And he was like, he called me up. He called me upstairs. He was like, is this you cooking the pizza? I was like, yeah, this is me cooking the pizza. He was like, why aren't you still up here watching it? Because I was like, it's going to take like a minute to be done. So I was just playing a game. He was like, no, when you're cooking something, stay in the kitchen. And I was like, okay, yeah, that is true. That is true. But I'm like, I'm not actually cooking nothing. You know what I'm saying? The oven is doing the cooking. And plus, I had a timer. You know, he gets to like, you know, talking about how it's like a little lecture. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lecture that really just was not needed. So then I said the words that made him mad. I said, well, this is how I make it at mom's house. Right? So he was like, well, you're not at your mother's house. I was like, well, I can see that. And it was like a little argument that happened or whatever between us. He started thinking in my face and all of that. So I was like, nah, back up, get out my face. Because he told me to use 2 pieces of foil instead of 1. And I was like, there's no need for all of that. That's really just a waste of foil. And so he just started yelling at me, this, that, and the third. I was calm, I promise you I was calm. And then he got in my face, and then that's when I got mad. And then he kept getting closer to me, and I kept pushing him away from me, right? So I can't remember what happened after that, but I do know the kitchen is like right next to the Yeah, guys, so it turns out we were having a beautiful, like we were flowing. Whole time it wasn't even recorded.
Continuing, so you were at the basement door.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, we're at the basement door, and you know, he has me by the arm. So, you know, he's kind of forcing me down the stairs. You know, he like pushing me down the stairs. So he finally pushes me, but lets go of my arm this time. And you know, I fall down the stairs, scrape my elbow on one of the little grip things on the stairs or whatever. And so I'm sitting down, and you know, he just yelling at me. Well, we kind of arguing back and forth or whatever. And you know, he kept getting in my face like he was going, like, you know what I'm saying, like he was going to do something. But he wasn't. At least that's what I thought, right? I couldn't make it. I couldn't antagonize him if I wanted to. I was bawling my ass out. What y'all talking about? Like, I'm crying over hard at this time, right? So, you know, he kept getting in my face, right? And, you know, I had my fist like up here towards my face. And he got in my face again. He was like, Isaiah, stop playing with me, you know, stop playing with me. He grabbed my hands, I don't know why. He grabbed my hands, right? And, you know, he had them. He was squeezing them like firmly too. So I was like, let go of me, like, let go of me, let go of me, like, let go of my hands. I was trying to pull my hands away. So he ends up, you know what I'm saying, he squeezed the mess out of my hands. It hurt. So I stopped trying to get my hands out of his hands. So then what he did, he took like my left hand, and like he went this way where all of my fingers were like up. He went this way, caught my pinky finger and snapped it. Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can actually still see it. You can still see it. You see how it goes that way? Yeah. So then after that, right, he gets calm. He gets very calm, and he actually sits down. He sits down. He says, you know, Isaiah, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry, man. You know, you just gotta learn to listen to me. You know, and stop trying to talk back. Whole time I wasn't even trying to talk back.
So with him trying to deal with the situation by using force, I get a phone call, okay? And he says, you know, me and Isaiah had gotten to a small discrepancy. I was like, well, what's the discrepancy? Well, he might have to go to the doctor. Why would he have to go to the doctor if it was small? What happened? Well, you know, he was irate and I had to calm him down. You know how Isaiah gets, because you know his attitude or whatever. But he didn't take him to the doctor until the next day. And then I also couldn't come pick him up.
But yeah, so I was sitting downstairs, couldn't play the game, cause my finger was broke and it hurt like really bad. And the funny thing about it is, after, you know, he calmed down and we got done talking, it's funny because I tried to call her immediately. Like, after he went upstairs, I immediately tried to call her. Guess what? The Alexa didn't work. I had to call her on the Alexa because we didn't have phones at the time. So I tried to call her off the Alexa. She turned red. She wasn't working. Tried to. That's what Glenda has iPad, right?
Quartet had an iPad?
Yes.
I didn't know anything about an iPad.
Yes, you did. How did you forget about that?
The iPad?
iPad, yes.
Who gave him the iPad?
His father.
Oh, well, how would I know that?
Cause he brought it to the house.
When?
The 206? You don't remember that?
No, he never showed it to me.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Oh Lord.
Oh.
Yeah, I think then I tried to call her off of Quentin's iPad. It didn't work. Tried the TV and it didn't work either. So, you know, cause he has the Xfinity thing where he can pause the internet to whatever device is connected to it. So, yeah.
So the non-communication didn't just start with my oldest son. It started a while ago. So when people kept asking me, why am I bringing this to the internet? Because there are so many women in the same position that we're in now. And regardless of what had happened between him and I, this is when it was just him and his boys. I wasn't around at all. But what's even crazier is how afterwards I wound up calling DCFS and they opened the investigation. They wound up having an interview with me, having an interview with him. I believe they talked to someone else. I can't recall who the third person was, but they closed the case. And I didn't understand because you had physical evidence of what was going on and you closed it. How do we get here? How do we get here? So he can physically harm his child. He can tell me that I can't talk to my children. He can inflict psychological warfare on my children. And I am not able to prove this in court. How do you show someone that your child is being tampered with, but it's only in their brain? And you don't realize what the impact is until later on down the road. So with me trying to talk to the judge, it never went well. And it never goes well. Because as a single mother, we know how it is, right? Other single moms, you know? When you're trying to do something financially, especially in the court system, you don't win. If you don't have any money, you do not win. If you do not have money, you do not have a voice. And then if you do get representation, it winds up being less than stellar. And you just wind up having to, represent yourself, even though you are not aware of all of the laws at which they keep changing. Now, the premise of this show is to show everyone that because you have an uncooperative parent that you're trying to co-parent with, that doesn't mean that you need to react in the same manner. This is really hard to talk about for me. And even though I'm not directly the one in it, with my children being in the middle of this, it really irks my soul because there's nothing that I can do to aid in any of this besides to try to keep pouring into them the love and the experience that I've had thus far.
Just a little piece of advice. Don't change yourself trying to please others. It won't work.
Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way. And being a mother, it's difficult making mistakes in front of your children because you want to show them that they can be whoever they want to be. But it seems like you are a contradiction to yourself if you're not able to do that in front of them. So I made it my point that when we made this show, it was a way for all three of us to bond and also to talk out our issues. Therapy comes in many forms, and for me, talking is my therapy. It's probably theirs too because I didn't give them any choice but to talk, you know?
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot keep things internalized because you wind up imploding. And once that spews on everybody, it's nasty. It's real nasty. So if, by doing this show, I know I have grown tremendously, as well as them. I just would like more time with my oldest son. It would be nice. But not only me spending time with my son, but him spending time with his brother.
And what we know?
Like they don't hardly see each other. They hardly talk.
Yeah, we go to the same school and I don't even see him.
It's wild. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. If everyone turned the other cheek, there wouldn't be any violence. So until next time, make sure y'all manifest daily.